Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. How is everyone doing? I've been in here chitting and chatting. Who did I miss? Hello, Gaelic girl. I saw Angel. Joy, hello. Two Joys in here. Melinda Lewis, good morning. Good morning, Connie. Nufflin made it in. Lori made it in. Bonnie made it in. Bonafide. How are you, my friend? Glenn made it in. Hello, he said. Hello. True Crime with Shannon made it. Carol Claus made it. Extra AF made it. Scented is in the house. Just Cat said, Happy Friday, 18 months, and I still love you to bits. I love you, Cat. It's actually been longer than 18 months. Can you just imagine? Let me tell you, this is hard to admit, but I'm amongst friends, so I can do it. No one's perfect. I'm a little desensitized when it comes to crime, even children's crimes. That sounds horrible. But it takes a lot to knock my socks off, if you know what I mean. Well, this week, when I read the affidavit of what happened to Harmony Montgomery, I wasn't desensitized anymore. Holy hell. I think about what Vinny on Court TV said one day. He was talking about Harmony, and he said, she's smiling. He said, what could she be smiling about? What does she have to smile about? Born to drug-addicted parents, jailbird for a father, abandoned by her mother. Murdered by her father. In the affidavit, and I'm not going to go through every bit of it. I got a plan. When he said to Kayla, I think I really hurt her this time. It's because this little girl had had many beatings at the hands of Teardrop. Many. And guess what? Stepmother did nothing to help her. And I mean nothing. They smuggled her body all around Manchester for quite some time until a very pivotal moment when Teardrop took her into the bathroom and ran the shower for 6 to 7 hours and brought her back out into a bag, to which the affidavit said she would have to have been basically dismembered. This is beyond disgusting. This is beyond horrible. I'm so sick of these proffer agreements. Most recently, we talked about a proffer agreement in the case of Gannon. Harley Hunt took one. In this case, we have a lot of proffer agreements because these detectives, not just in this case, but a lot of cases, they have to make deals with the devil. They know that they're dealing with criminals. You see, when you're someone like Teardrop, everybody around you is a POS too. They're all bad people. They're all into drugs, illegal guns, horrible, horrible people. So to get them to talk, like I've said before, there's a fine line between a police officer and a criminal. They have to understand each other's minds. We see cases like Sarah Boone. We saw Letitia Stout. They're talking to the police like they're going to trick them, like they're going to fool them. Then you see a career criminal like Teardrop who knows how to handle them. I'm not talking to you guys. That's what he said. I'm not talking to you guys. You guys are twisting my words. I want a lawyer. He knows the game. So to Stepmother, that's the reason she held out for so long, because she has an attorney that was like, without immunity, she's not going to tell you anything. We don't care about the welfare charge. We don't care about the perjury charge. We care about the other charges that you're going to let go, or you're never going to solve this. And that's what they had to do. And it's horrible. Horrible. Thank you, Connie, very much for the super sticker. Let's take a minute to tell everyone, hola. Hi, hello, howdy. This is going to be a rough show. I'm letting everybody know. Lisa has a question. Lisa says, please explain to me why they took her brother out of the horrific situation, but not Harmony. Jameson is not Adam's child. So when Adam wanted reunification with Harmony, they reunified him and Harmony. We're actually going to talk about that because it's just beyond sickening. It's beyond sickening. I know many of you reached out to me and said, I can't get through this affidavit. That I'm not going to read every word of it. I'm telling you, I'm not going to do that. I've done that before. And well, for one, my voice is annoying and I don't, nobody's ever going to pay me to do ebooks, if you know what I mean. So I got this worked out a different way. First, let's get to the comments. On the community tab, I put this up. Harmony's body moved into CMC maternity bag. Kayla stated that at some point after Harmony's body was in the refrigerator, we all know what refrigerator we're talking about, Teardrop transferred Harmony's body from the Under Armour duffel bag into a new bag. Kayla stated this happened in the bathroom. Kayla stated that on that day in question, Adam spent 4 to 6 hours inside of the bathroom at 644 Union Street with the shower running. Kayla then described Adam as placing Harmony's dead body inside of what she described as a Catholic Medical Center maternity bag. The bag was smaller than the Under Armour duffel bag and would not likely fit Harmony's body unless it was dismembered or grossly distorted. Gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. So I put that on the community tab the other day and I was in tears. And I mean ugly tears. Not Candace Wells type of tears. I mean ugly tears, not fake tears. Let's get to some comments. Jane Doe said, as a true crimer, I've seen and heard a lot, but this one is really tough for me. Yeah, I can admit it. It takes a lot to part my hair anymore. I've been following true crime since the freaking 80s. Yes, I am that old. And this one, I've always said I didn't think I would ever see anything worse than the probable cause affidavit for Gannon Stout. And then Teardrop said, hold my beer. Extra AF said, I haven't been able to bring myself to read all of the affidavit. This is all I've read, and damn it, I will never understand. Harmony was a child. And how did Stepmother spend 1 second with this monster knowing what he did? She has children with him. Addiction or not, there isn't a drop of humanity shared between them. Rest in peace, Harmony. HGC, that's me, says, this has absolutely broken my heart. I've low-key cried all morning while trying to put on a happy face and get extra snuggles from my own little 5-year-old. There should be an exception for cruel and unusual punishment specifically for these kinds of monsters. I just pray they get some good old prison justice. Now, when we first started talking about Harmony Montgomery, this was in January of 2022. And oftentimes on here, we said, listen, they just locked up Stepmother because they know she knows something. Welfare fraud is such a weak thing to put someone in jail for. She was told by the detective several times that there's a huge reward out there and you might get part of it. She only needed $5,000 to get out of jail. And she just sat there on her bony, scabbed up ass, not doing one thing for Harmony. Just like she didn't do anything from Harmony when Harmony was catching all those beatings from Adam. Now, let me ask you this. Just an opinion. Do you think Stepmother might have also participated in some of this abuse? I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't take her turn beating her around the house. Katie Bird said absolutely. Aggie said yes. Mayor said yes. Hannah, absolutely. Absolutely. Better believe it. Better believe it. All right, let's get to this news clip and then we're going to start going through the affidavit.
38 pages of alleged abuse suffered by a 5-year-old child while she was alive and even after she died. And according to her own stepmother, it was at the hands of her dad. Harmony Montgomery's crooked smile, pink glasses, and pigtails stole the hearts of the world. But according to the affidavit, her father was the exception to that. He raged at his little girl over toileting accidents, Kayla Montgomery told police. The affidavit says Harmony's final moments of life were agonizing. She moaned in pain until she died. Her tiny face and head.
She moaned in pain until she died. Let's look at this. I've got some new Dollar Tree readers. Court K sent them to me for my birthday, but she sent me nothing to play coin pusher. Kayla said Adam was driving the vehicle and Harmony was in the rear seat on the passenger side. And while Adam was driving, he turned his body and delivered sets of 3 to 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face and head on 3 separate occasions over the course of a few minutes. Kayla said after the final blow, Adam said, "I think I really hurt her this time. I did something." Now, most people, after witnessing something so horrific, would call 911. They jump out of the damn car. Not Kayla. What did she say when she was talking to Teardrop's dad? "I'm his ride or die. I'm not going anywhere." Till she got a deal. "I think I really hurt her this time. I did something." She said Harmony began moaning, which continued for about 5 minutes before it stopped. No one checked on her or sought medical attention for her. And shortly after noon, Kayla said she and Adam discovered that Harmony was not breathing and had died. We went to Burger King, sitting there eating a Whopper with extra cheese with a dead baby.
Head received blow after blow until she died. Her tiny face and head received blow after blow. Adam Montgomery reaching back from the driver's seat, delivering the violence as he drove. Once Kayla and Adam realized Harmony was dead on December 7th, 2019, Kayla says Adam got a duffel bag from the trunk and placed his daughter's body inside, starting a months-long project of moving, hiding, and storing the child's body. From car to car, then in a cooler kept in a common hallway of the building where Kayla's mother lived. In a storage bin transported by stroller to a family's in transition apartment.
They moved her all over town. All over town. Okay, I used to be very, very hard on Stepmother's mother. A very nice lady reached out to me and she said, no, you have it all wrong. And I agreed with her, especially now knowing what all she's going through. And I laid off of her. But I have a lot of questions for her now. From the affidavit, she was in this cooler at her mother's house. Nobody opened the cooler. This is Christmas time. Was she not planning on getting one thing for Harmony? So when they said, oh, Harmony went to live with her mother. Well, most grandparents would say, well, how do I send her Christmas presents? And of course, they're going to make up an excuse. And then you go, all right, well, I'm just going to get a hold of Crystal myself. I'm just going to send her a message and say I'm going to send Harmony's Christmas gifts to her. Harmony was her granddaughter too. Obviously not biological. But still. So she should have gotten a hold of Crystal. And then when Crystal said, Harmony? I haven't seen Harmony since FaceTime in 2019. We're going to get more to Crystal because she's lied so much. She has lied so much. She's part of the problem here. So then Kayla's mom would have known, well, she's not with Crystal. Then you call the police. Guess what the police would have done? They would have found her in the cooler. They would have Adam for first-degree murder and not second-degree murder. They would have Kayla in jail as an accomplice. But since her mom took these two addicts, violent people, at their word, here we are. Here we are.
In a storage bin transported by stroller to a family's in transition apartment, then wrapped in a trash bag and hidden in a ceiling vent until neighbors complained of the smell. Moved to a maternity bag, set in between Harmony's two half-brothers in their stroller, and taken to a walk-in freezer at the now closed Portland Pie Company where Adam worked. He stored Harmony's body there for a week. 7 locations detailed. The final one, an apartment on Union Street. There, nearly 3 months after Harmony's death, Kayla told police Adam spent 4 to 6 hours in the bathroom trying to reduce Harmony's body using lime and brute force. They worked together to squeeze Harmony back into the maternity bag and put her in the freezer. Pressure mounting, Adam got a U-Haul, left for hours overnight, and when he returned, Kayla says Harmony was gone. Detectives traced the U-Haul to the Tobin Bridge using toll data, triggering a search at a marsh in Revere. Harmony's remains are still not recovered. Investigators refuse to give up. Adam Montgomery's defense attorney did not want this affidavit unsealed. She argued forcefully in court that investigative work should not become part of the public domain before the trial. We did reach out to Caroline Smith this afternoon. We have not heard back. We're live at the Hillsborough County Jail this evening. Amy Covino, WMUR News.
Oh, you're not going to hear from his attorney. No way, Jose. You know why she doesn't want this out. This is disgusting. This is horrible. This is vile. I'm running out of adjectives. I'm running out of adjectives. And I know several people, I've been reading some comments, not around here, but they're like, well, you can't trust Kayla. You can't trust Stepmother. She's a known liar. Well, here, this is what the police do. Even when criminals confess, they have to have evidence to back up their confession. That's the reason they have the Facebook data, the Google data. They have the pictures from when he went to the Tobin Bridge with the U-Haul. They have other witnesses to back it up. So it's not just a fairy tale from Stepmother. Her mother was subpoenaed to a grand jury. They've had to put all of this together. They have DNA from the ceiling. People were complaining of the smell. Now, what I want to know, how was there not a smell when she was in that cooler at her mother's house? You're telling me nobody smelled her while they were with the mother? She can't be in that kind of denial. She just can't be. All right, let's get to the probable cause affidavit. Now, we start out with a problem already. I don't know how many of you remember how long you've been following this. I don't know. It's all taken down now. Crystal Sorey, who is Harmony's biological mother and failed her horribly, on her Facebook, when all of this hit back in January of 2022, late December of 2021, Crystal said she had been calling the police over and over and over, and they wouldn't do anything. Here's the probable cause affidavit. She called on November 18th, 2021. Sorey reported that Harmony, who was in the physical custody of Sorey's ex, was missing and that she hadn't seen Harmony in over 6 months. She hadn't seen Harmony since basically Harmony was a baby. She lied. 6 months? No. She FaceTimed her in April of 2019. An employee of the Manchester Police Department contacted DCYF and learned of previous addresses associated with Adam. Manchester police officers checked those addresses but were unable to locate Adam or Harmony. On December 27th, DCYF notified Manchester Police Department that they also weren't able to locate Harmony. Consequently, the Manchester Police Department initiated an investigation into the whereabouts of Harmony. Over the following days, members of the Manchester Police Department learned that Harmony has not been physically seen since October, November of 2019. Sorey, who resides in Massachusetts, notified authorities that she hadn't seen Harmony since around Easter of 2019. See, right there, they already knew something was up. She said 6 months, and then she's like, oh, it's April of 2019, and I actually didn't physically see her because I was FaceTiming her. The case was subsequently assigned to me. During my follow-up with Crystal, she explained that she had lost custody of the child in July of 2018 to the state of Massachusetts. In part due to a substance abuse issue. Crystal said that both she and Adam had past issues with substance abuse. Crystal reported that since then, she has regained sobriety and unsuccessfully made attempts throughout 2021 to locate Adam and Harmony. Adam and his partner, Kayla, had blocked all communication with Crystal through phone numbers and social media applications. Crystal said over the years, she made attempts to locate Harmony by contacting various schools and driving by addresses associated with Adam. Now, if you remember from the governor's report, she didn't do any of these things, my friends. She didn't do any of these things. So when people are like, poor Crystal, no, there's no poor Crystal. There is no poor Crystal. There is only poor Harmony. Crystal said that she believed she had physically saw Harmony during a FaceTime video. So now they're getting to the bottom of it because her shit's not making sense. She hasn't physically seen her in years, not 6 months. She had not been calling the police either. We know from the governor's report that CPS was trying to get a hold of her. She wouldn't return their calls. So on the 27th of December is when all hell broke loose. That's when they said, we're going to find this child. And what really pisses me off about this case is when the parents fail the child, that's when CPS steps in. I hate CPS. I know there are great, great, great social workers, but when they fail huge. And in this case, they gambled with Harmony's life and they lost. Let's get to a little bit about Crystal.
The biological mother of Harmony Montgomery, the 5-year-old girl who police say was murdered by her father. Crystal Sorey has said very little publicly since her daughter's disappearance. Today, a vigil was held for Harmony in Manchester, New Hampshire, where loved ones shared hugs and memories of the little girl. And her mom explained why she dressed in a Minnie Mouse outfit for the occasion.
Even the newscaster is confused. She explained why she dressed in a Minnie Mouse costume. Crystal knows nothing about Harmony. She knows nothing about her. Favorite color, favorite food. She knows nothing about her. Do you know how much this Minnie Mouse costume costs? On eBay, I saw one for $75. You've got $75 to show your ass, but no way to help Harmony.
For the occasion.
I figured after everything that's been happening, that I would go for Halloween as her favorite character, and I'm her favorite person, so it's...
She doesn't know you. Crystal, she doesn't know you. Harmony's favorite person was Jameson. And the name of the show is Her Reality. Harmony's reality was her favorite person was whoever didn't neglect or beat her for the day. That's who she warmed up to.
Seemed right.
Crystal Sorey reported her daughter missing last year, but police believe she was last seen in 2019. Last week, her father, Adam Montgomery, was charged in her murder.
A smiling.
Disgusting. 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 All right, a lot of the probable cause, they're basically going through Kayla's lies and getting to the bottom of it. That's really what it comes down to. Hang on. Trying to find the page, the right page. I guess I should put it back on the screen. Give me a second. I thought I had the right page marked down. I did not. Okay, I did have the right page. Item number 26. Kayla stated that on December 7th, 2019, prior to the vehicle breaking down, Adam struck Harmony in the face/head on 3 separate occasions because she had had a bathroom accident. This happened while Adam was driving the vehicle. Kayla described that Harmony was in the rear seat on the passenger side, and while Adam was driving, he turned his body and delivered sets of 3 to 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face and head on 3 separate occasions over the course of a few minutes. Kayla stated that after the final blow, Adam said words to the effect of, he felt something or heard something when he hit Harmony, and said, I think I really hurt her this time. I think I did something. Harmony began making moaning type noises, which went on for roughly 5 minutes and then stopped. At no time did anyone stop or get Harmony medical attention as the result of this assault. Stepmother said this happened in the morning while the family was on the way to Burger King on Route 3 in Manchester. And afterwards, the family returned to the parking lot of the Colonial Village Apartments. The family stayed at Colonial Village for approximately 20 minutes, during which time no one checked on Harmony. Stepmother could not recall exactly what they did during this 20-minute time period. Stepmother said that after approximately 20 minutes, the family left the Colonial Village apartments, and shortly thereafter, their car broke down. Kayla said she thought the car died at probably 8 or 9 a.m. According to Manchester Police Department records, the car was broken down on the intersection of Elm Street and Webster Street at approximately 12:11 p.m. on that day. Stepmother said it was at that time that she and Adam discovered that Harmony was not breathing and was deceased. Kayla stated that Teardrop went to the trunk of the vehicle, removed clothing from a black and red Under Armour duffel bag, and placed the lifeless body into the bag. Kayla stated that at no point did either of them have any conversation about getting any type of life-saving measures for Harmony, and that Adam simply put Harmony's dead body into the bag and walked it to the parking lot of the Colonial Village apartments. Gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. A lot of people ask, how did Harmony come into his custody? Look at this with me.
Takes an inside look into the proceeding shrouded in secrecy that placed this little girl with her dad, a man with a lengthy criminal history.
Our Kathy Curran joins us right now with insight into a process that is closed to the public by law, Kathy.
And Ed and Maria, the decision made in these cases impacts the future and safety of a child and a parent's right to care for their child. Tonight, a seasoned judge sits down with 5 investigators to give us some insight into what happens inside those secretive proceedings.
These cases are agonizingly, and I use that word with intent, difficult.
Retired Judge Jay Blitzman knows the challenges of child care and protection trials involving children like Harmony Montgomery firsthand. He's the former first justice of the juvenile court in Middlesex County, serving on the bench for more than 2 decades.
You're talking about a decision which has incredible impact about the future of a child, and also issues related to a parent's constitutional right to care for their own children.
Harmony was in the care of the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families until February of 2019, when juvenile court judge Mark Newman awarded custody to Harmony's dad.
And that judge is still a judge. He fills in like in traffic court or something. This guy, no. You're a judge because you have good judgment. When you don't have good judgment, you don't get to judging no more. He should be removed now.
Adam.
Judge Newman, we just want to ask you a couple of questions.
Months later, the little girl disappeared and she hasn't been seen in 2 years. Her mother, Crystal Sorey, who lost custody of Harmony when she was just 4 years old, is holding on to hope.
Hope is all I have right now.
Adam Montgomery is a man with a violent criminal history who had served several years behind bars. Records show his convictions include armed robbery, larceny, and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon for shooting a man he was buying heroin from in the face.
5 investigators has learned judges aren't always given reports like police reports that would detail the crimes. They may only be given a basic criminal history showing charges and outcomes. And DCF played a central role in presenting the evidence showing whether or not Adam Montgomery could properly care for his daughter.
The question then related to the criminal record is, were police reports offered concerning the underlying conduct? Were witnesses called?
If the crimes are violent in nature, does that make a difference?
The reality is that many parents have criminal records. There's got to be a connection to a criminal history and the ability to adequately parent a child.
A judge's decision is only as good as the evidence before them.
Chris Cook represented DCF in many cases. Now he heads up the union for DCF's lawyers.
My members, the DCF attorneys in the northern region, almost all of them have caseloads hovering around 100, which is astounding.
Judge Newman would have heard from the DCF lawyer presenting the case, any witnesses called, and lawyers for Crystal Sorey, Adam Montgomery, and Harmony. The child's lawyer advocates for what the child wants, not what they believe is in their best interest. 5 Investigates spoke with Harmony's lawyer. She, like the judge, can't comment or even tell us if they were involved in this case.
I sense you'll hear that the attorney presented her position as wanting to be with Dad.
In Harmony's case, an interstate compact, commonly used in cases when children are being placed in a home across state lines, was initiated but never completed. The agreement would have triggered New Hampshire to ensure the home and the caregiver would meet the child's needs and make sure the child is monitored and safe. That so-called ICPC would have also given Judge Newman more information, but we've discovered it isn't always required.
I'm praying that Harmony be found, obviously. And I'm also praying that if she's not, that we look at this case thoughtfully at every level.
And this case is at the center of multi-state investigations while the search for Harmony continues. Adam Montgomery faces criminal charges for allegedly assaulting Harmony, and we're told the future of his parental rights would be in the hands of New Hampshire DCYF. Kathy Curran, 5 Investigates.
Horrible. One failure after another. One failure after another. So her guardian ad litem basically told the judge she wants to be with her dad. Let's look at Dad's rap sheet. Okay, so he's armed robbery. He shot a guy in the face. I'd have been like, so, Harmony is a little girl. She doesn't know what's good for her. That's the reason adults have to make decisions for kids. Anyone that lets children make adult decisions is a failure. We don't put children in adult spaces. We don't talk to them about adult things. This is crazy. So in the probable cause affidavit, it goes through how they made contact with Stepmother and they just got a bunch of lies for her. So they dug up the welfare fraud and put her in jail. So she sat and she sat and she sat. Then they make contact with Teardrop. And again, he's a career criminal. He knows how to deal with the cops. You just don't say a damn thing. You don't say a thing. Like I said, we have cases where we've seen suspects thinking they're smart, just talking out their sphincter. They won't shut up. Sarah Boone, Letitia, we've seen several. They won't stop talking. But you get someone like a Teardrop that knows the game. It's a little different. Let's look at it.
What's your name, my man?
What? Adam.
Adam.
This police body cam video obtained by News.
All right, so there he is in his Coors t-shirt. What's your name, my man? Adam. Now, he knows why they're there. He knows. But he's defiant from the start. Just watch how the police deal with him and how he deals with them.
9 Investigates was taken on December 31st, 2021, the day Manchester police announced a missing persons investigation for Harmony Montgomery.
On top of your head.
What's going on?
This was the first.
Listen to him. What's going on? Let me tell you what, by this point, Stepmother had already told him they're looking for Harmony. They're looking for Harmony. He knows why they're there.
first interaction between Adam Montgomery and Manchester police after officers located him sleeping in a car in Manchester's Wolf Park. In the video, officers ask Montgomery about his daughter's whereabouts.
You just need to find out where she is. That's all I'm concerned about. You're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay. You have no warrants. Okay. So, where's your...
See, so they're reassuring him, look, you're not in any trouble that I know of. We don't have any warrants on you. We're not here to jam you up. We just need to know where Harmony's at. So he already knows the field. Because like I said, he's a career criminal.
Daughter, so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay. Right now, I have nothing to say to you guys. But that's not what I'm...
Right there. I'm going to replay that. He says, I have nothing to say to you guys. This is their first interaction with him. Now, also remember, Kelsey Smalls was in a relationship with him at the time. She told the police that she knew Adam had 3 children with stepmeth, and she had a child with another woman, which would be Harmony. But she has no idea where Harmony's at. I still think if Kelsey Smalls wasn't dead, something, if they had gotten her sober, like they got stepmeth sober, something would have jogged her memory. There would have been some conversation that could have helped them. But listen to him. I got nothing to say to you guys. They're looking for your daughter.
Okay. You have no warrants. Okay. So, where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? Right now, I have nothing to say to you guys. But that's not what I'm just asking. Okay. I have nothing to say.
The interaction lasts about 45 minutes before Montgomery is sent on his way. Police track Montgomery down again later that day, serving him with a court order to produce Harmony.
And this was a bad day in Teardrop's world. Not a bad day for me, because they got that judge to issue that fast. Hey, buddy, we're going to follow you around town till you comply. Then they did their interrogation where he just sat there and said, you're twisting my words. I've got nothing to say to you. You know what? People gave a lot of hell to this law enforcement agency. Said they're corrupt. They didn't do anything to help Harmony. Yes, they did. Crystal lied. She made no contact with them. She was not looking for her daughter. She was not. Now, she'll tell you all her recovery stories and her sobriety stories and how she did the best she could. No, she didn't. No, she did not. She complicated the case even more because she wasn't telling the truth. You see, people can navigate the truth. We understand the truth, even if we don't like it. But when detectives have to sort through all the lies, knowing the truth is in there somewhere, it slows the process.
Some detectives want to speak with you. You're just being detained at this point.
5 days later, Montgomery is arrested on charges including second-degree assault for allegedly abusing Harmony. During an interview with detectives, Montgomery is asked several times about his daughter.
This isn't going to go anywhere. Like, this isn't going to stop. So,
no, I know it's not.
So, either get on the bus now or get run over.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
Either get on the bus now or get run over. Slim, hasn't Crystal had another baby? Yes, she did. And guess what? Last I heard, that baby was taken from her too. And from what I've heard from people, it's near impossible to lose a child in Massachusetts. Listen to him. Get on the bus or get run over. He goes, I got nothing to say to you guys. I got nothing to say to you. Finally, he says, I want a lawyer.
Asked several times about his daughter.
This isn't going to go anywhere. Like, this isn't going to stop. So,
no, I know it's not.
So, either get on the bus now or get run over.
So they know who they're dealing with. They know who they're dealing with. They know what this dude's all about. They said, this isn't going to go away. Listen to him. I know it's not. That's what he said. I know it's not. Now, also in the affidavit, when he got the U-Haul, which I think the 2 people that were with him have a lot more to say. In this case, I have counted 9 proffer agreements. I don't know if I ran out of counting or not. There's probably more. 9. When the state makes a plea deal, not a plea deal, sorry, I'm an idiot. When they give you immunity, when they give you a proffer, it's because they know they have something on you they can put you in jail for. They make a deal with the devil. Anybody that takes a proffer agreement, please understand, they have done something very criminal.
This isn't going to go anywhere. Like, this isn't going to stop. So,
No, I know it's not.
So, either get on the bus now or get run over.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
And so Montgomery's lawyers argue that he repeatedly told police he did not want to speak with them, but detectives continued to question him, essentially violating his rights. Prosecutors have said that any statements Montgomery gave were done so voluntarily. A judge, by the way, has not decided if these recordings will be used in court. Reporting live in Manchester, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Ridiculous. Just Me, I put the link up. Just Me has heavily followed this case. She's all over it. Extra AF said he didn't ask for a lawyer. Actually, he did. This isn't the complete interrogation. He did. After they said either get on the bus or get ran over, he said, I've got nothing else to say to you guys. And then he said, I want a lawyer. They shut their notebooks. And by the way, we have a ton of videos on here about Teardrop, Stepmother, Harmony. So go through them. Susan, it says devices not connected. Let me put another link up. Goodness. All right, now we get to what is really troubling me. It's definitely in my top 10. And that is the cooler at Stepmother's mom's house. Now, if you just have a random cooler laying around, at some point, someone's going to open it. Was she scared to? Did she think something was going on, but she can't admit it? I don't know. I will say this, I guarantee she has a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas going through her head. On February 18th, 2022, Lubin, who is Kayla's mother, testified before the grand jury for Hillsborough County, Northern District. During her testimony, she explained that in December 2019, Adam, Kayla, SM, and DM moved in to live with her for 2 or 3 weeks, and they left on December 30th or 31st. She said they did not have Harmony with them, and Kayla told her that Harmony had gone back to live with Harmony's mother at a rehab facility in Massachusetts. She testified that during that time frame of December 2019, she was not aware of Adam or Kayla making any effort to get in touch with Harmony or Sori. She also testified that in that time frame, she did not see Adam or Kayla cry about not having Harmony. Now, as a grandmother, would you not think something's weird? Would you not think something is weird? Okay, so she's with her mother. So what are you going to get her on the weekends? What are you going to do? I mean, I would have had a million questions. You know, Christmas is coming up. How do I get her Christmas presents? Well, let me get a hold of Crystal myself. She's very easy to find on Facebook. Hell, she's talked to me. Then she gets a hold of Crystal. Crystal's going to be like, I haven't seen Harmony. She's not here. Then you lock down Adam and Stepmother and you say, where is she? Because if she's not with Crystal, then where is she? Well, the answer was she was in the cooler at her house. Good morning, my dear friend.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How's your blood pressure?
Say it again.
How's your blood pressure?
I can't hardly hear anything. I don't know what, it wouldn't let me join a minute ago.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I can barely hear you.
I don't know what's going on.
Let me look for my earplugs.
That might be it. Okay. After Kayla's proffer interview, so they've been working on this for a long time. They traveled to Dubuque Street, I hope I'm saying that right, and obtained a consent to search from Kayla's mother and Kayla's mother's boyfriend. I explained to Lubin that I needed to obtain a red cooler with a white lid. She stated the cooler had been in her bedroom closet for close to 2 years. I asked her if this cooler had previously been in the common hallway, and she confirmed it was. They consented to the search and seizure of the cooler. The cooler was submitted to the lab for processing. My God. And there's the cooler. There's the cooler. You have your earplugs, my friend?
No, not yet. Hang on.
Okay.
Ah, dadgum thing. All right, now let's try.
Can you hear better?
They're not going through. I don't know what's going on. Let me go out and try again.
Okay, my friend. So there's the cooler, and it's confirmed that Harmony was in it. From there, you've heard about the restaurant, the ceiling. Neighbors were complaining of the smell. Neighbors were complaining of the smell.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
I can. That's much better.
So where are we at on this, my friend? How's your blood pressure?
I had to take some breaks the other day, but I got through it. We can do this. They pissed me off to no limit. Where are we?
Well, we knew it was going to be bad, but we didn't think it would be this bad. Am I fair in saying that?
Oh, yeah, you're fair. I just cannot imagine that cooler set in a common hall and nobody opened that up.
Yeah.
No, I'm not believing it. I'm thinking that's why they left Mommy Dearest's house and went to the shelter, because she said, I ain't getting in this. Get the hell out.
Good point. Good point. Get out of here. Because they all left. The kids and everything. They went to the shelter.
She's not going to turn them in, but she ain't going to be a part of it either.
Well, she sat in front of the grand jury. I don't see that she made a proffer. So we get to the shelter, and you see where that vent is, which, by the way, has Adams at the top in the ceiling. That vent has his fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints. Yep.
Up in there is Harmony's DNA.
Mm-hmm. Right over their beds. Sick mothers. Sick mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've seen it several times, but let's look at this, because the timeline changed when Stepmother's mother talked to this reporter, Jeffrey Hastings. He did a great job. I've shared it several times. Props to him. Now, listen to how she describes this, because they were saying October, November. She gave them a specific timeline. Now with the cooler story,
makes perfect sense.
I think that's how she knows, because she said, well, let's listen to what she said.
And then kept the cooler.
And she has made her choices, and that's all I can say. I'm just asking you, just for the children's sake, I do pray for Harmony, and I did have something come to me today for the police that I thought may help, which I did tell the police. I'm not going to give that out yet because I don't want to hinder it in any way. Just please.
When did you see Harmony?
It was, I knew it was in the wintertime. I wasn't exactly sure when. And when I spoke with my daughter, she was telling me it was a day after Thanksgiving.
Okay. But she didn't see Harmony.
Yeah, right. I don't buy it.
Harmony. And, you know, she's fully cooperated. I will give that to her. And she has to because, well, she has custody of Teardrop and Stepmother's kids. And they're doing great with her. So she has a lot going on. But for her to say something happened after the 30th of November, she even said it was the week of the 10th. Well, we know now she was murdered on the 7th.
Okay.
That last year in 2020 or 2021?
No, that was in 2019.
And did you ever ask your daughter where she was after that? That you never saw her again?
Well, she told me that because they came here the end of December during the holidays, and they were here briefly. I asked her, I'm like, well, I expected Harmony to do them, and they said no. And I know they've been kind of living on the streets and in a car kind of thing. And well, she didn't say no. She said she's with her mother. And I didn't question it because I didn't know until all the news, the history of the family. And Adam, for the first couple of years, was some sweet guy, and he's not. He is pure evil.
He is pure evil. So is your daughter. Your daughter is pure evil. Your daughter helped squish her into a bag. She described.
She cut her clothes off.
She cut her clothes off, yes. She described to the detectives. She squished her in a bag, and she said she still looked like Harmony.
Yeah. How do you do that? You're evil. That's how.
You gotta be kidding me.
This poor baby. I'm glad that.
So I hope.
Go ahead.
I really, really hope the information that came to me today, that can help in the search for Harmony, and that's really where my prayers are now, because my grandchildren will be with me, so I'm not going to be worried about them. And just please respect the privacy.
Yeah.
This is so scary for
Do you think
children.
Do you think Harmony's still alive?
I hope and pray she's still alive, but it's been 2 years.
She said, I hope and pray she's still alive, but it's been 2 years. My question is, and I'm asking all the grandparents in here, when your kids show up and they don't have one of the grandkids and it's Christmas time, what's the first thing you're going to ask?
Where can I send their gift?
Mm-hmm. How do I get her Christmas gift? You're telling me on December 10th or whenever they got there, she hadn't started her Christmas shopping? Was she not planning on buying anything for Harmony? How many people in Harmony's life have failed her?
Every one of them. Every one of them. And it pisses me off to no end. That little baby, everybody protected themselves. But nobody stood up for that baby. Nobody. It's wrong and it's evil.
Peas in a Pod said Kayla's mom was thinking less gifts to buy. No, she said, I didn't question it. She said, I didn't question it. Well, and you never opened the cooler? Or did you open the cooler and say, get the hell out?
And she kept the cooler after they were done with it. It was in her closet for 2 years and she never opened it. Something's wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
Although they did test it and there was no DNA in it. So maybe it's true. I don't know. Something's wrong there.
It's also plastic, and that was explained on the news. They were explaining that a lot of times with it being that type of plastic, it wouldn't absorb it.
It has hinges.
It has hinges, and also if it's been cleaned out thoroughly, it's not going to have anything in there. If it's been bleached out, anything like that. And I tell you what, if they find out that she cleaned that cooler and never called the police, she's going to be in trouble.
I don't think they're even worried about her, to be honest. There's so many people in this.
Yeah.
She's the least of their worries, and they won't have 2 other kids to take care of.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
No, I think you're right on. I think you're right on. And also, I mean, they can't prove that she opened the cooler. They can't prove that she didn't do anything, you know, because what you
And
have.
what is her arrest? What's her arrest record look like? She might have a clean record, and they figure, yeah, well, in this, she's the least of the evils.
My understanding is she's squeaky clean, and so's her boyfriend.
Well,
They don't
then,
have a record at all.
There's your answer. There's your answer. The state won't have to pay for those kids.
You know, so I don't know.
You got to be heartbroken over this.
I'm distraught. My body's been shaking every couple hours because I can't get away from it. You know what I mean? I can't not check the news. I want to know what's going on, and I have spoken to police several times.
Do you think your daughter had any involvement in her disappearance?
Kayla told me that just as in her affidavit, and I drilled my daughter. Believe me, I asked. You know, with her history.
She said, as in her affidavit. Well, we know that her affidavits were lies because she knows. She knows that she helped hide Harmony's body.
Yep, and she knows that she was still receiving food stamps for her. She knows she's a liar, but she can get the truth out of her. Sure, Jan.
She said that's what she said in her affidavit. See, so she already knows what's up. She's communicating with Kayla. Listen to what she says again.
Several times.
Do you think your daughter had any involvement in her disappearance?
Kayla told me that just as in her affidavit, and I drilled my daughter. Believe me, I asked. You know, with her history, she used to be a liar, but I know how to get the truth out of my daughter.
She used to be a liar, but she knows how to get the truth out of her. Well, you didn't. The police did. They had to make her a deal to get her to tell him what happened.
Tell me you're an enabler without saying it. She showed you who she was, and you still gave her the benefit of the doubt. No.
Is there such a thing as a reformed liar?
Nope. Not to my knowledge.
Not only did she lie, she smuggled Harmony's body all over Manchester, New Hampshire.
Into her own mother's house.
That's the type of respect.
Yeah.
That Stepmother and Teardrop have. They go to crash at her mother's house. I used to call her Grandmeth. I've been trying to be nice. I've been trying to give her the doubt. I really have. But when I saw this and I saw her grand jury testimony, she's got a gift to give. And she should have done something when they were there. She should have pressed the buttons. 911. I have a feeling Harmony is missing. I have a feeling she's not with her mother. Their stories aren't adding up. No rehab is going to let a child live there. What rehabilitation center for drugs, alcohol, overeating, bulimia, I don't know, would let a child come live in that facility? You have patients.
They wouldn't want them there. They wouldn't want them exposed to the things that go on there.
No.
What do you call it? Malpractice for that to happen.
Angel P said none. So
I agree.
She knew. She knew when she was told she's living in a rehab facility. with her mother. Right there, I'd have said, no. Hang on. She does not need to be in a rehab facility. Let me find out what's going on, because something here's not adding up. But she said, I just took their word for it and kind of threw her
It was
hand.
easier. It was easier just to be in denial.
Yep.
The youngest daughter, her daughter wasn't born yet, and Harmony was with him. He dropped her off at work, and he said to her, I am bringing Harmony to her mother. And then he came back later, I don't know how many hours, I don't know that she was working at a Dunkin' Donuts. I've given all that information to the police, but Kayla said, where is he? She didn't say where she is, but I don't know. I'm so confused right now.
And when do you think that happened?
In my mind, from what I've tried to gather, and all the media has been great with trying to get all the information out there, and the social media I thought has been great too. But I think it happened like in a week period, and I think it happened from December 6th till prior to December 6th. So December 6th, anytime after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving to December 6th. So it's like, there's the 30th of the month, so it's like 6 to 7 days. So I think something happened in that week, and I don't know what day. I asked the police if they checked my daughter's records, because my children are brought up where they have to tell the truth and they have to fess up. And my daughter,
she's being non-specific while being specific. Think about that. She said
she wants to act like she's cooperating.
Well,
she knows.
She said December 6th.
She damn well knows. Mm-hmm.
She said December 6th. We know now Harmony was murdered on the 7th. But she stopped it right there.
Yeah.
Something happened after that. I cannot stand when these people do this. Now, you don't have to give any answers to the media. You don't have to give any. But when you're talking to police, you better be as specific as possible. And I agree with what you said, my friend, when you said, I think when she said, get the hell out, it's because she opened that cooler. And I think she scrubbed it. I think it had pine sol, bleach, ammonia, anything in it. And she put it in her closet for 2 years.
Yep.
When they came to get it,
she didn't use it for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that? Who does that? Why have a cooler if you're not going to use it? If you don't use a cooler, I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
has broken every time for me in the past. And I said to her, and I said to her, and I said to her, I said, are you sure? I said, what couple doesn't communicate about this and so forth? And I know those are the questions out there. My daughter does have a good heart, but I don't know what her heart was on this, but I do.
Oh, she does know something. See, this is a totally different retrospect now that we know about the cooler and all this stuff. She said, I don't know what her part on this was, but I know she's going to have to tell him.
But I thought she believed her.
Yeah. Why would you assume she had any part in it? Listen to this.
Yeah.
In my mind, from what I've tried to gather, and all the media has been great with trying to get all the information out there, and the social media I thought has been great too. But I think it happened like in a week period, and I think it happened from December 6th till prior to December 6th. So December 6th, anytime after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving to December 6th. So it's like, there's the 30th of the month, so it's like 6 to 7 days. So I think something happened in that week, and I don't know what day. I asked the police if they checked my daughter's records, because my children are brought up where they have to tell the truth and they have to fess up. And my daughter has broken every time for me in the past. And I said to her, and I said to her, and I said to her, I said, are you sure? I said, what couple doesn't communicate about this and so forth? And I know those are the questions out there. My daughter does have a good heart, but I don't know what her part was on this, but I do believe her. She's staying very, very consistent in what she's saying. And I can tell by her, I'm her mom. You know, I can tell.
So that whole drop off, you're saying that's between Thanksgiving, December 6th,
Day after Thanksgiving and before December 6th.
2019.
Yes.
And what's the significance of December 6th that makes that date stick in your head?
That date was reminded to me by my daughter because they were homeless and they needed a place to come. And I said, well, I don't really have the room, my landlord. So they were just here during the holiday, during that time.
You said Adam is the devil. Why do you say that?
He can sweet talk and swindle like he did with us for the 2 years. And then everything he points the finger at everybody else and talks up quite the storm. And it's a lot of, he talks like jail talk. That's all.
What about abuse? The allegation yesterday was he was abusive towards Harmony.
I don't know about that because I didn't have much when
There's people that have come forward.
Okay, so it cuts off there. And I don't know why they cut it off because they said they asked about the abuse and she stops it. She goes, I don't know much about that because, well, I would love to know what the because is.
Yeah.
All right, so we get to this. If you look at this picture on the screen, Harmony was there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, she was. The
Detectives
body, at least.
Detectives removed the vent in order to check the top side of the ceiling sheetrock. There, next to the opening for the ceiling vent, detectives located a large area of staining. This area is directly next to the ceiling vent where Kayla Montgomery described that Teardrop put Harmony's deceased body in the Under Armour bag. Detectives noted that this area had a smell consistent with decomposition. The photo below was taken by a detective who was standing up in the ceiling vent hole after the vent was removed. The area of staining is circled. That's where her little body was.
Awful. Awful. Yeah, poor little baby. Insult to injury.
A large section of the ceiling sheetrock was removed and seized, which included the stain, metal framing, and the hole for the ceiling vent. The ceiling vent itself was also seized. The photo below shows the area of sheetrock and metal framing that was seized. The area of staining is again circled. They've done extensive testing. Extensive. You can see more pictures right there. You can see where it went to the lab. So they're backing up everything that Stepmother has said. Hang on one second. All right, now we get to Union Street. On June 3rd of 2022, they did another proffer interview with Kayla. She said that they moved Harmony's body to 644 Union Street. She said that Adam put the Under Armour duffel bag with Harmony's body, which was inside of 1 or 2 trash bags, into a plastic bin storage container, which was then pushed on a stroller. Kayla stated that at some point after Harmony's body was in the refrigerator, Adam transferred Harmony's body from the Under Armour duffel bag into a new bag. Kayla stated that this happened in the bathroom. Kayla stated that on the day in question, Adam spent 4 to 6 hours inside of the bathroom at 644 Union Street with the shower running. She then described Teardrop as placing Harmony's dead body inside of what she described as a CMC maternity bag. This bag was much smaller than the Under Armour duffel bag, and it would not likely fit Harmony's body unless it was dismembered or grossly distorted. Kayla described an odor coming from the bathroom and saw steam coming from the bathroom when Adam would open the door. She recalled the scent of cleaning supplies in the bathroom when Adam had finished up. She stated that afterwards, Adam placed the CMC maternity bag inside of the freezer.
God, this is awful.
After Stepmother's first proffer interview, investigators obtained an exemplar CMC maternity bag that they suspected might be the same as the one into which Harmony's body had been placed. That's the bag. If you look on the screen, that's the bag.
I see it.
I couldn't get my cat.
I just can't get past the depravity. It's so depraved. You freeze her, you thaw her, you dismember her, you shove her in a bag. Oh, awful.
Then she was moved to Portland Pie Company.
Ah.
Then he got lime to further the decomposition. She even described that when she saw Harmony, she still looked like Harmony.
Yeah. Evil. I'm trying to watch my mouth.
You're good.
I'm so enraged. I'm so enraged with them. Such depravity. How can you be so evil?
How could they? How could they? Stepmother sat right there and watched him beat her in the face with a closed fist.
And then have breakfast.
Then went and had breakfast. They sat there and
They
ate.
didn't want to say that 20 minutes. She said they don't remember. She sat there and ate. Don't tell me that.
Yeah, she said she doesn't know
I
what they did.
don't understand it.
She said she didn't know what they did for that 20 minutes. We know what you did. You were eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a dead body in your car.
The moaning child. Because she was moaning. And it didn't matter. Oh, we're hungry. Let's eat. And then we'll deal with it.
And then they had their other children in the car.
Uh-huh.
And at this time, she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Makes you not want to eat at restaurants anymore, if you know what I mean.
I do.
My God. Last summer, Susan and I did a show about when the FBI, hazmat teams, Manchester police basically closed off Union Street, which I heard from several of the locals. Thank you for letting me know what was going on. And when they seized the refrigerator, what else did they take out of there, Susan?
Floorboards, drywall. And didn't they go into the sewers?
Yeah. They went into the sewers.
And we know why now. We know why.
We know why now. We know why now. Let's take a look at this.
New Hampshire Attorney General says investigators have finished their search of a home in Manchester in connection with the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery. A team of investigators spent all day yesterday searching an apartment Harmony's father and stepmother previously lived in the Union Street home. Officials were seen taking evidence from the area, including a refrigerator, which they had brought in earlier in the day. Harmony was reported missing last year, but she has not been seen since 2019.
Tonight, we're hearing from the biological.
And that was horrible. And the thing is, the news had it wrong. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't bring the refrigerator in. They brought one in to replace it. They took one out. They just happened to miss that. Then they were in the manholes down there collecting DNA evidence because he dismembered Harmony in the bathroom. How could you?
Yes, he did. I don't. I'm at a loss, honestly. They had to bring in a snake to that bathtub.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine being the new tenants?
No, I can't. God love them. I don't understand how people can be so evil.
And Stepmother is only going to serve for the perjury. She's not going to be prosecuted for moving Harmony's body all around town, or not calling for help when he killed her, or not reporting all the times he beat her. It's going to be much worse when she testifies.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And
she
don't
protected her kids, though.
She certainly did. She protected her damn self, too, and kept doing drugs. And let me tell you something. When she gets done with her sentence, the police are going to watch her every move. It's only going to take one more crack rock, and they're going to put her away forever.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope she is haunted. I hope she's haunted every night. Oh, the evil.
So there she is sitting in the passenger seat on the way to Burger King. And he says, I think I really hurt her this time.
This time. That's the thing that, this time.
This time. Kenny said, and her mom protected the cooler.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't wish for anybody to go back to bad habits or bad behaviors, but we know Stepmother is going to mess up again. Hell, we saw her last summer getting chased down by the U.S. Marshals. It didn't take her
being pulled out of that house.
Mm-hmm. That was great, actually. I'm going to find that real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Oh, me too. Oh, yeah, I loved it. Hang on. I got a treat for you. There's my Harmony folder. Hang on. I should have a subfolder called Stepmother.
You're so organized.
Not really. I mean, if I got some time, I would honestly sit down and get everything organized better. It takes me sometimes a while to find stuff. All right, where are you, Stepmother? Come on. And I still think that Kelsey Smalls knew more.
I think Adam's friends paid her a visit, if you know what I mean.
I've always wondered.
Because she said she never saw Harmony, and that's a lie.
Okay,
I
here we
think
go.
she saw a whole lot more.
Well, I mean, I don't think she saw anything, to be quite honest. But I think after living the abuse. Well, I tell you what, Kim Frayne, she certainly her too. And I know she was having an affair with Teardrop. They were all getting high with him and jumping on his pogo stick.
Yep.
All right, look at this. This is from last summer. Kayla was supposed to check in every day after she got out of jail for drug tests.
I couldn't believe they let her go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, she'd served her time for the welfare fraud. They had to let her go. They didn't have anything else to hold her on because she hadn't told them all this other stuff. They let her out.
That's
She's
true.
cooperating. Then she decided to quit going to get her drug testing done. So they had to get the U.S. Marshals to beat her ass. Look at this.
That's right, John. It's important to note here that Kayla Montgomery was out on bail on welfare fraud charges connected to applying for state benefits back in 2019 for her stepdaughter, Harmony Montgomery, when the child was no longer in her care. Part of those bail arrangements are that she appear in court when there's a hearing. She failed to do that last week. That prompted this new arrest warrant to be issued. The execution of that warrant very much came as a surprise to at least one other person in that house.
Well, I had
military machine rifles put to my head and told to face the ground.
Quite the start to the day for Dave St. Ange on Friday. He was stepping out of this house on Russell Street to go.
Okay, so it didn't take Kayla long to find somebody to buddy up with. Now, this guy got in trouble for harboring a fugitive, not the one on the screen.
Yeah.
He honestly didn't know what was going on because they're all idiots. This guy is just an idiot. He was going out to get cigarettes. Next thing you know, the U.S. Marshals have a gun to his head.
Play stupid games.
To at least one other person in that house.
Well, I had military machine rifles put to my head and told to face the ground.
Quite the start to the day for Dave St. Ange on Friday. He was stepping out of this house on Russell Street to go to the corner store.
They had U.S. Marshals, they had state police, Manchester PD.
Did they put a gun to your head?
Yeah. And to my chest, not to my chest, but for me to where that camera guy is.
St. Ange says he knew a woman was visiting his brother for a few days, but didn't know who she was. After the
Oh, there she comes out in all her glory. He knew that a woman was visiting his brother for a few days, but he didn't know that the Marshals were going to put a gun to his head. Look at her coming out. God.
Oh, man. I would have liked to seen.
I'm surprised she didn't call up old Kim Frayne. She probably at this point already knew that Kim Frayne was cooperating with the police.
You think?
But didn't know who she was. After the house was searched and Kayla was arrested, they filled him in.
They kicked the door in on the other on they when they had me handcuffed over here. They came in and got through the top door and broke the door in where she was in.
St. Ange says they hauled his brother away in handcuffs as well on Friday, telling him.
Yep, they grabbed her ass. She probably stole those sunglasses from the convenience store too. Look at them. That's no friggin' joke. She came out with her hands up. Like I said, the brother got in trouble for harboring a fugitive because he did know who she was.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I'm smiling.
Yeah, this was actually a great show. And New Hampshire is a great state. It's a gorgeous state. Don't ever let these scumbags in these cases make you think a state is bad. V. Oakley said, "Is that Stepmother?" Yep, that's her. Yeah, she went on a little sojourn last summer, and they had to get the U.S. Marshals to go get her.
Something about harboring a fugitive.
I think she's, she deserves everything coming to her.
Huh. Oh my goodness. I enjoyed that more than I can say.
Look at her. Look at her on the screen. She's just up in the bedroom with her new beau, shooting up,
rode hard,
smoking up.
Rode hard and put away wet.
I'll tell you what, or up from the floor.
And this is just the beginning of karma coming for you, Kayla.
Yeah. You're done. You're done. I'm going to go ahead and put the part of the interrogation of Teardrop up. If you guys have time, we have a lot of stuff to get to because there's a lot to go through. We've been doing this for a long time. Now, this is actually very important. Teardrop wants this, well, his attorney wants all of this suppressed. I don't think this judge is going to go for it because there's no case in Manchester, New Hampshire right now more important than Harmony. The chief himself said, never going to stop. They're going to find her. They said, we're going to find her. They know that somewhere off the Tobin Bridge is where Teardrop put her. They have the surveillance from the U-Haul. They know. He didn't even pay the tolls. Could you imagine Teardrop not paying the tolls?
Why would he? Rules don't apply to him.
No.
And unfortunately, I think that she was put into separate bags and given a toss, or she's in a landfill. They went to different dumpsters and they just got rid of her.
My
She's
question
either in the river. Go
My
ahead.
question is, why did he go and rent a U-Haul? Why did he want a U-Haul? Because we know it was
My
rented.
guess would be, yeah, it's like a van thing, and he didn't have access to a car.
Okay.
No witnesses.
Amy in Boston said right over the Tobin.
Mhm.
Harper was telling me Mystic River. And she doesn't think she's, she wants her found. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be tough for them.
No one wants her found more than I do. But unfortunately, that's the choice. She's either in pieces in the river or she's in a landfill. And we know how hard it is to find somebody in a landfill, especially if they're not all together.
And think
And
about
that's the sad truth.
What kind of a demonic, depraved person would be in the bathroom for 6 to 7 hours, chopping up your
Thawing her out.
Thawing her out, steamrolling out, chopping her up to put her in a smaller bag.
Yeah. And banging her on the floor so she'll fit.
Yeah, squishing her in.
Thank you, Amy.
Austin said ocean, not river. Okay. Thank you, girlfriend. She's from
Okay.
there. I'm not. I have to have this help from locals.
Mm-hmm.
The one I care the most about is your daughter, Harmony. And we have people around the clock calling into us, giving us tips from all over the country because they care too to try to find where she is. My only goal, which I told you the other day, is to make sure that she's safe. I don't want you to get tied into something if you didn't do anything wrong. My job is not to jam somebody up for something that they didn't do wrong. And if you can tell me that you didn't do anything wrong, then I want to believe you because, dude, I've met you now a few times. I helped you out when you were at the hospital when you were having a fucking meltdown. You told me about your kids. I sat there and I talked to you. Dude, I could have fucking tased you right there. And I did.
See, they know the game. They know who they're dealing with. Yeah. They know they are dealing with a career criminal, and he knows how to deal with them. Hey, buddy, I sat there with you at the hospital when you were having a meltdown about your kids and everything. I don't want people to think you're this scumbag. I could have tased you right there, but I sat with you. Like they're trying to play good cop.
Good cop. That's what I was going to say.
I didn't do that because I saw deep down inside that you were hurting and that I wanted to help you. Right now, all I'm trying to do is help your daughter. I want to bring her home, and I can't do that without your help. Dude, I can't do that without your help. Help, hey.
Twiddling his thumbs.
Help me, please. That's all I'm asking for. I can't sleep until I know that she's okay. And I know that you know where she is or what happened to her, but I can't do it without your help. And if you don't want to look like this fucking animal, because I don't think you are. Not that I don't think you are, I know you aren't. But I can only do so much for you, man. I know. I'm begging you to help me. Because as much as you're hurting inside, I'm also hurting inside, and I don't know.
So he's trying to reach him on like a human level. As much as you're hurting, I'm hurting too. I don't think you're this bad guy. I don't think you're an animal. Now, they know he's a total freaking animal. They know. And anytime they go to interrogate, they already know what's going on.
Or a lot of what's going on.
Because I'm sure it's eating the shit out of you. Am I wrong?
No, see, me and Pods. I know I'm not fucking seeing my wife. I'm not seeing my kids. You guys are just playing games like this.
Dude, but I'm not trying.
I'm not trying to play games. Good. Like telling my wife and kids that I'm not allowed to see my wife and kids.
All right. His biggest
Oh,
concern at this
his
point
concern.
is his wife. Now he's throwing the kids in there to try to look
Yeah.
like a human. He needs to talk to Kayla because he's got to intimidate the hell out of her because she's been there.
Exactly.
She witnessed the murder.
Exactly.
She was with the body. That's what he wants to do. And they had already put a no contact in and said, you are not to talk to him. But now what does she do? Try to get messages to him while she's in jail through his father.
His father. Yep.
But dude, that was a mistake from some core paperwork that hadn't been updated. So like I said, I apologize for that.
But it was updated. DCYF told them.
No. This was some like DV paperwork I'm talking about.
But I'm talking about DCYF already told us multiple times that there was no contact order.
Maybe through DCYF, but
It could have been through DCYF. So let's fucking forget about it.
Right,
You've seen your kid, you've seen your wife and kids over the last how many days, right?
I haven't seen them in the last. I haven't seen my kids in the last 2 days, 3 days.
Okay. You're always going to be their father, Declan, Seamus, and then Sierra, right? Kiera. And then there's Harmony.
I got nothing else to say.
So they name all the children. They name all the children. He corrects them on his daughter's name. They said, and then there's Harmony. Then he stops it. He says, I've got nothing
Clammed
else.
right up.
Yep.
Clammed right up. Ugh.
That's it, guys.
Hey, can you make me a promise? Like man to man? Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other
No.
day.
It's not word games.
I got nothing.
Because we care, man. We want to know.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. Like this isn't gonna stop. So
No, no, it's not.
So
So
either get on the bus now or get run over.
I got nothing else to say.
Why is it you have so much trouble talking about Harmony?
Guys, I got nothing else to say.
Why is it so hard talking about Harmony? He said, because I've got nothing else to say.
He never used her name.
He won't. No way. He has no soul. He has no conscience. All he knows how to do is save his own ass.
That's all any of them do is save their own ass.
Well, leave this copy of this ex parte or it's a petition from DCYF. You can read it later sometime. I'll put it in your property. It's basically the same thing you got the other day. It's just a little more detailed that we handed you. It does say that you're ordered to help us locate Harmony Vigil unless you're not going to do that.
I'm just telling you guys I want to lawyer.
It is 9:25.
And that's it. Because nobody knows the law better than a damn criminal. I want a lawyer. They said, okay, it's 9:25. They shut everything and they're gone. They're gone. They're out of there. They can't talk to him anymore. Sick.
That's right.
Sick.
And they have all the rights. The victims have none.
None.
Ugh. So sick of these evil monsters.
We just got an Amber Alert here in Oklahoma. I have to look at it here in a second. I just got it on my phone too. Leila Newman. She was born in 2002. Oh, God. Amy said he could get off and be back on the highway in 10 minutes. All right. Now, this is a little lengthy. Do you have time, Susan?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
About Harmony's beautiful life and what perhaps could have happened to her if her biological father hadn't asserted his parental rights and kept her when he was clearly unfit to parent a child. I want to welcome in a very special guest. He is the adoptive father for Harmony Montgomery's biological brother, Jameson. I want to welcome in.
Okay, this is Blair. Him and his husband, one's an attorney in Washington, D.C., the other one's a meteorologist in Boston. And they have adopted several children. When they were adopting Jameson, they also wanted to adopt Harmony. But since she had reunified with her father, they couldn't. Well, I think we all know Harmony would be alive and well now if they had allowed that.
Yes.
My
They seem
friend,
like caring
Blair
and
Miller.
loving parents.
Blair, you are a personal friend of mine, and you are also a colleague. I want our courties to know you've worked in journalism for a long, long time. You've worked at the local level, at the national level. You're working for Boston 25 News. Now you're also a writer. You write for the Washingtonian in D.C. This has to be so hard as being dad and also being someone who works in the media, who's a public figure. First question to you, please. How are you and your family doing this morning?
No, and Julie, thanks for having me on. Thanks for your friendship and thanks for all that you all do on this story, because it is important to talk about. I've read through many affidavits in my lifetime. We knew this was coming. We knew the details of this. But when you read through all that, it's, as you said, it's sickening. It's disturbing, beyond disturbing, to read the details of what was happening in this little girl's reality, knowing that it didn't have to happen. And I think that's truly the hardest part of all this. My husband and I started reading some of this yesterday. We'd take breaks, we'd cry, we'd hear from friends, and then we'd read again. And it's just really hard to imagine any of it, but really to imagine the life that Harmony Montgomery was living, and how she was put in that situation. That didn't have to happen, and that's the hardest part.
Right, Blair. And I want to go into more of that, if I may, please. I told our courties on the show who are so interested in this case and their hearts break for Harmony. And I know as they're getting to know you more and more, I'm sure they'll be reaching out to you and be following you in everything you've been putting out about this case for Jameson and your other boys. What really saddens me, and I mentioned this on the show, and I would love for you to speak to it if you would, please, is that you and your wonderful husband, Jonathan, were willing to adopt Harmony too at the time that you adopted Jameson, but Adam Montgomery had asserted his parental rights with Harmony. Am I correct on that, Blair?
Sure, yeah, and so Jameson is our third son. Our older two we adopted, and then we wanted to adopt again, or it found us. And we were matched with Jameson. And the day we were matched with him, we were instantly told he has a sister. He's been in foster care with this sister. She took care of him. And we said, tell us more about her. And we learned her name, Harmony. And we learned about her background. And we said instantly, what do we need to do? Because if Jameson has a close relationship with her, we want to have a close relationship with her as well. And told social services in Massachusetts instantly we'd be open to adopting her as well.
This is such an unjust thing. Now, I think it was like our second or third show about Harmony when Mama Kay said, Jameson saved her. Jameson was the one looking for her. And we know all the multiple lies that Crystal has told. And these dudes are all heart. They were willing, they wanted to bring both of these beautiful children into their home. But Teardrop asserted his parental rights, and I still say it was for welfare. All he did was beat her.
Yep. and use her for a babysitter.
Yep. Tamara said Harmony would have thrived in that home. Yes, she would.
Yes, she would.
Court K said, I've been waiting for Harmony's show all week and I overslept. Court K, you got a shout out earlier in the show because I've got my dollar store readers on that you got me for my birthday. Pat K said, who were Jameson's parents? Crystal Sorey and a guy I don't know. But Adam is not his father.
Maybe she doesn't either.
I don't put anything past old Methy Mouse.
That's what needed to happen. And we were quickly told, well, that's a different situation. And she's been reunited with her biological father. And we continue to say, please leave that door open because it's important to Jameson. And even now he talks about her and talks about how much she has meant to him. And we wish we could have tried harder. We wish we could have done more. We wish that door was still open at the time. And we continue to ask, you know, how is Harmony doing? And how can we still have a relationship with her? How can Jameson have a relationship with her? And we never got anywhere on that.
Blair, you and your husband are.
Imagine that. Looking out for the welfare of the children, wanting what's best for the children. We want him to have a relationship with his sister. How do we send her presents? How do we get them together? Imagine that. Wanting good emotional connection with, and Jameson remembers her. He was asking for her. She was taking care of him. She got knocked around because she wasn't taking care of her half siblings. She's a little bitty girl. And because she's not cleaning the toilet right with a toothbrush and keeping her siblings quiet, she gets knocked around until December 7th of 2019, when Adam with a closed fist ended her life and said, this time.
Yeah. I can imagine her being in that car, interrupting them from whatever they're doing. I've got to go potty, and getting knocked around. So she keeps her mouth shut and she potties herself and gets beat. Mm-hmm. That kid couldn't win for losing.
Mm-hmm. Freaking sickening.
Yeah, it is.
Are the most wonderful people. People like you are truly angels on earth, adopting 3 boys, giving them the most wonderful life they could ever have. And the fact that you were willing to adopt Harmony too, that she was loved, even though you really didn't even know her yet, you loved her. You wanted to bring her in. And I have to tell you, my friend, all I kept thinking about yesterday, reading that affidavit, was that you and Jonathan saved Jameson's life. All I kept thinking about was if his dad would have asserted his parental rights with Jameson too.
I feel bad for this woman because she's about to cry.
Yes, she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know.
You can hear her voice breaking. How many times have you heard me cry on this show?
Yeah,
it's hard to control the emotions.
We all have.
Mm-hmm.
It gets emotional.
I can't imagine what kind of danger he would have been in. I would think it would have been the same danger that Harmony was in.
We think about that a lot. We think about the life Harmony could have. We think about the life Jameson and Harmony could have together. We worry deeply about how this is going to impact Jameson. Our motivation all along has been, this isn't about us. This is about, how is Jameson going to judge this when he is 15, 20, 25, 30, etc.?
Again, looking out for the children. Now, what he is saying is something we've talked about on this show many times. The internet is forever. And when he gets older, and he will, I'm sure, go to college, he'll have a great life. He'll have a great life. How is he going to judge this, like he said? And these guys, They even let Crystal come around and see Jameson. They just try to do the right thing. Kimber has a great comment. Look at this, Susan. It's like he stole her life from her twice. First, by not allowing her to have a stable home, and then finally, his own hands. Let that sink in.
You're right.
You're so right, Kimber. He stole her life twice by not letting her be adopted by a proper family that loves her, and then taking her life.
And treated her like a possession. When he was done, he was done.
Thank you, Mama She. Thank you, Mama She. Thank you so much. It's just too much wrong.
We have the best members.
We have the absolute best people here.
And I'm starting to struggle with, I always thought we could navigate that pretty well. But when you read stuff like what we read yesterday, knowing the details of it, knowing what's going to come out in court, you start to, as a father, I start to question the peace that Jameson will ever have with this when he's old enough to really, truly understand it. Going through that affidavit yesterday, I told you this yesterday, there was a date that stuck out to us, and that was December 7th of 2019. And in the court paperwork, they talk about how that was the day they believed that Harmony died. And we were going back through our own calendar, and that was the first birthday we celebrated with Jameson after we had officially adopted him. And we can't help but struggle to think about how we were here celebrating him, celebrating his life, celebrating him being a Miller, while his sister was experiencing a whole different world and reality. And that is really a tough thing.
Awful.
Her reality. Think about
That's
that.
awful.
Here they're celebrating.
I don't
her.
want to.
It's so hard.
Poor Jameson.
Yeah.
Poor Jameson.
Slim said his first birthday was Harmony's last day. So here they are celebrating. He's got his own room. He's got presents. He's happy. He's playing soccer.
He gets to be a kid.
He's doing what children should do. He's got two fathers that are putting his emotional needs before their own. Before their own. Imagine that.
Amen. Man, I can't. These people are awful.
You're not trying to find
God bless him.
They're not trying to find Fent, rocks, dope. The kids are first.
Amen. As they should be. People are so selfish.
To try to understand. You can't understand it.
No, because it is so sickening and evil. What happened to this beautiful little girl who was loved by your family, who was wanted by your family, and to think that she was living in a car, perhaps didn't even have enough food to eat. When I was reading the affidavit, a neighbor was kind enough to give them some Thanksgiving leftovers, didn't have a bathroom to use. It's just heartbreaking, as you know, Blair. And I want to highlight some of the incredible things that you and Jonathan and your three boys do to remember Harmony. And just the other day, I believe it was on June the 7th, if I'm correct, Harmony's birthday, you have a tradition, right? I want you to tell our viewers about that. We have one of your tweets where you put some pictures up and you talked about what little Jameson says about how all rivers and oceans lead to heaven.
Jameson is a really special little boy, and he's 6 years old, and he is wise beyond his years, and he is also very matter of fact about his relationship with Harmony. He knows she has passed. He knows she's in heaven. And my husband Jonathan and Jameson talk a lot about this, and talk a lot about how to remember her. And we'll constantly be in the store and say, hey, Jameson, what would Harmony's favorite toy be? What would her favorite color be? And we try to include that part of this conversation. But for her birthday each year, we celebrate it. And this past birthday, we went to the Potomac here in DC, and we had gotten 9 purple flowers, her favorite color. And that's a picture of our 3 boys, and we took them over there and had a moment. And James.
What beautiful children. And they're all involved in this. They're all involved. They all know what happened to Jameson's sister. Now, I believe it was Blair put this tweet out. No, actually, it was Jonathan. The colors aren't very good, but Jameson draws these pictures for Harmony. There's a purple heart for Harmony and a red for him. Absolutely heartbreaking. Look at those 3 beautiful boys. They're well balanced. Their emotional health is in check. They have supportive fathers. They're in great schools. And Harmony could have had that.
Breaks my heart.
But instead, what'd she get? Beat up, closed fist on the way to the Burger King. And not one person would call 911 to get her checked out. I tell you what, there's a special place in hell for stepmeth.
Yeah.
I do not believe that crimes against children are forgiven by our Jesus.
They better hope they are.
Said he wanted to
And
put
I
him in the
hope
river
they
because
get
all
right with
rivers
God
lead to
because
heaven. And
they're
for a
gonna burn in
6-year-old
hell.
boy to be able to communicate that, it just hits you in the gut. And again, this is about trying to create some bit of normalcy for Jameson, so that one day he knows that he did all he could, and we did all we could.
Certainly. And you are, Blair, I applaud you for being so courageous to be sharing things so personal publicly, to try to have everyone remember what a precious little angel she was. You tweeted something out to that effect about you want people to not remember the bad or what happened, but remember that this was a beautiful little child who was loved.
Well, we've always been very outspoken about adoption, and we've always tried to be really advocates for adoption. You talk about the good things we're doing. These boys are doing good things for us, and I don't want that to be lost on us, lost on them, because they've saved us, and they have made us better people by adopting. We haven't made them better. And we've just tried to be very public about this at first because we wanted to find harmony. We still want to find harmony. And now it's turned into, what are we doing to make sure this doesn't happen again? And we have to look at through the lens of Jameson, of how he will judge us and society for how everyone treated his sister. And so it's so important to us that we focus on the good. There's a lot of evil in this world right now. There's a lot of evil in this case. And for us, it's just trying to focus on the good and focus on the positivity, this sweet little girl, that when we look at her picture, that we see love and we see a sweet little angel, that we don't see evil.
Oh, Blair, so beautifully said. I can't say enough. You and Jonathan are remarkable people, raising 3 remarkable little boys. I think Jameson is going to grow up to do very big things, and maybe largely in honor of his sister. Thank you for sharing all of this personal information with us. And I know our courties are going to want to give you some love. And please follow Blair at Blair Miller TV. I believe that's your handle across the board, right, Blair?
Yeah, and thank you to you and Court TV for all that you are doing to bring awareness to this, because it is needed. So many people have been so supportive, and yesterday I broke down when I was reading the comments from people that they said about that stuff. And that stuff matters, and it helps, and it'll be important for us to all kind of digest.
And it breaks my heart that they are reading the comments, because I have seen comments that I never understand. That's what a kid gets for acting up. I have had to read.
I better never see that. I had better never see that.
Oh, I didn't put you in that direction, girlfriend, because I don't got bail money for you.
You need it. I'm telling you. I'm going to lose my shit if somebody says something like that about the baby.
I mean, we've had a hard enough week with heartless ass people, but who would say, why didn't he just take her other eye? I saw that.
What?
Yeah, these people are freaking crazy.
Oh.
Let me tell you what, that's why I say, watch where you step out there. There's a lot of bad people on the internet. And when people say, oh, it's just because they're online. No, this is their heart. There's nothing funny about this. Now, I say things in jest about stepmeth and teardrop, but no way in hell. Just like with the Summer Wells case, I will never support Don and Candace and Grandis.
Nope.
And you have people that have lifted them up like they're heroes.
Yeah. I'll never understand it.
And let me tell you who is a hero to me, and that is the chief in Manchester. Now, there was a lot of problems in the beginning of this case because so many people were saying the police won't do anything for her. And that had to do with the lies from Mini Meth. Crystal
Yeah, because she didn't want to look bad in the public opinion.
She didn't want to look bad. We saw lie after lie after lie in the first page of the probable cause, where she called on November 18th and said she hasn't seen her in 6 months, but then said she did a FaceTime with her in April, then admitted she lost custody in 2018. Scratch a lie, find a thief. But this chief got to the bottom of it, and he got investigators. He got the U.S. Marshals. He got the FBI. Anything he could find them on, he did. Look at this.
The details are, very disturbing, and they're encompassed in a 45-page affidavit.
While those details are just now being made public for the first time, the Manchester Police Department has lived with them for months as investigators work to solve the murder of Harmony Montgomery.
They're gut-wrenching, they're heart-wrenching, all those things. But again, we're not deterred. We continue to, the focus is finding Harmony and bringing her home.
As the search continues for the little girl's remains, Manchester police are once again reminding the public of its tip line for the investigation. That number, 603-203-6060. It first went live back in January of 2022, shortly after police.
This is very important, and there is a big reward. It's over $100,000 because the chief is saying that they're getting tips now since they put this affidavit out. What do you think about that, Susan?
I think it's good. Any news is good news, but it shouldn't matter about the money. It should just be the right thing.
And you know how I feel about polygraphs and rewards. I don't think they work. I just don't.
I don't either.
With these derelicts, this reward could work.
Hasn't yet. They just all have dirty hands.
They do.
And I just don't hold much hope for that. I really don't.
And I still want more information about the two people with the U-Haul that were involved with that.
Yeah.
I want more information about Kim Frame because I'm telling you something now. I think she knows a lot. What do you think?
I agree. She knows a bunch. If she don't want to go down that road, no. Don't be bothered.
Announced that they were looking for Harmony. The tip line is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Callers can remain anonymous.
Maybe it jogs some memories. Maybe it causes people to rethink maybe some information that they know, that they've been hesitant to come forward. So maybe we're striking at somebody's conscience even more.
And could provide information that could bring Harmony home.
We're talking about who would now be a 9-year-old girl. Her birthday was not too long ago. And, if she deserves to be brought home and laid to rest.
And information in this affidavit points to detectives using that information in their investigation. Once again, that tip line is 603-203-6060. Reporting in Manchester, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Well, thank goodness. And I like how he said it. After this affidavit being out, it's going to jog someone's memory. Maybe they're going to remember something. Because nobody who is friends with Teardrop and Stepmeth are good people. Sorry, they're not. But knowing that they are giving out proffer agreements like it's Halloween candy to get these people to talk, because he said nothing is more important right now than harmony. This is nowhere on the back burner. Nowhere. Uh-oh, you're cutting out.
I set those guys at the restaurant up. Can you hear me?
No, you sound very muffled.
I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. It happens. We're a live show. Everyone knows you. Anything that's expected can't be expected.
Right.
It's just horrible.
I was just saying about those guys that worked at that restaurant came forward and said that they saw that bag in the freezer. So somebody's talking.
And there could be more. I think right now what they're really looking at is, the Tobin Bridge and where he was.
That poor baby.
They put together what happened to her, but they want to find her. It still pisses me off to no end that Stepmeth's mother had a dead body in her house in a cooler. She could have easily opened it and called the police, or she did open it and told them, get the hell out of here, and then clean the shit out of it in order to save her daughter. You heard
now,
her.
When they said that was in a common hall, did she live in a duplex or just a house?
I really do not know what they mean by common hall. Like a duplex, an apartment
building. If it's an apartment building, that can be a common hall. And you're not going to tell me the neighbors weren't curious. Or if it was inside of a house in a common hall.
Mm-hmm. And then she kept in the bedroom for 2 years. Now they found no DNA in it, and I think it's because it got scrubbed. You see, there's such a thing as bleach, ammonia, Tide, Gain, Dawn. You can clean stuff, and it'll show no remnants. Boiling water. Crazy. Let's take a breather.
I keep thinking back to those paint cans that they had where they soak in odors. There has to be a way. There has to be a way. There has to be some kind of a smell left in that cooler. And it boggles my mind because there's hinges. And the inside of a cooler has not foam rubber. What is it called? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. There's something in there.
Plastic is very porous, but you can clean it. And that could be 2 years of scrubbing. And who would put a cooler in your bedroom closet?
Yeah.
For safekeeping?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Amy in Boston said Tobin brings you right to the ocean in various areas. He said it's a 2-family home. But I agree with you. Thank you, Amy. I agree with you, Susan. Something went down. And she said, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. All right, we're going to take it down a notch. We're going to take it down a notch. Bear with me. This is obviously not my music because I can't sing. When I sing at church, they just sit there and look at me like, do you mind not pitching in around here, Brooks? But at times like this, I think we need some uplifting. Well, my
That was
friend,
nice.
how are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Connie, Amy in Boston says, who sings this? Her name is Ann Wilson. C-Star said, some people aren't human anymore. Preschool Granny is crying. That's okay. We can cry together. We can laugh together. But at the end of the day, we are still friends, and we're on the team for the victims. We don't have any shits to give for these people that hurt children. We have none. Thank you, Level-Headed. Thank you so much. We don't. We don't.
I don't think I can do this without you guys.
No, we have to have good friends and good company. Joy Jones says, I love we can cuss like sailors, but we still love Jesus. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Angel, very much. Because let me tell you what, Jesus has really changed my life, even though I disappoint him every day. But he is beyond disappointed in Teardrop and Stepmother. I hurt his feelings all the time. I don't mean to. But he's beyond disappointed. What did he say about who hurts a child? Put a millstone around their neck. They have a lot of crawling and shame to go through before they'll ever be accepted into the kingdom.
I don't know what happened there.
I know I got all Oral Roberts on everybody. Let's look at this video of Harmony, and I'm going to shut it down. It's been a tough day.
Oh, that little face gets me every time.
That little face, I know. I want to thank you, my dear friend Susan. You've been around before there was even a channel, and you've done such amazing work with Harmony. Mama Kay's in the chat. We were talking about you, and it was a second or third show. I have to go back and find it for Harmony, where she said Jameson saved her, and then we had to hear all the lies from Crystal. And now we know, because it's backed up by evidence. It's not just what Stepmother said. With evidence, we know what happened to Harmony was beyond horrific. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank the Mod Squad. I want to thank everyone. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for being here. Because I know it's been tough. A lot of people jumped ship because they said the police weren't doing anything. Well, as we know in this case and every other case, behind the scenes, they're doing a ton. They're doing a ton.
It wasn't the police.
Nope. They're doing a ton.
When you go through that many levels of trying to hide your crime, what the heck do you suppose they're going to do?
Stains in the ceiling? A cooler? With Kayla's mother right there?
Their refrigerator? Oh. It's not the police.
Mm-mm. No, it's not the police. It's not the police. This was all 100% Teardrop and his best friend, Satan.
That's true.
Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I think we're going to do a members live over the weekend about summer, and then we are going to do our Father's Day show on Sunday. We missed it last Sunday because, well, we had 3 tornadoes come through, but we're getting back in business. We're getting back to it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, and justice for Harmony. Light up the chat.